Welcome back to Between the Furrows, where this week I'm going to turn this into a theme park.
Incentive?
Incentive. Incentive.
Do you want me to try it again?
Sustainable Farming Initiative. Sustainable Farming Incentive.
You look like a priest reading from a Bible.
We are gathered here today because we have made no money. No, I'm joking. Hello, Jeremy. There he goes. An avid supporter of the channel, I hope. Good morning, everybody. We're going to do something slightly different today. What we'd like to do is bring you into the cropping side of our farm. We've done a few videos on like feed-in and chainsaws and stuff like that, but our main income is the cropping side of things. So I want to bring you guys into that so you can see what we're doing. I've got two fields here that I'm going to show you today, or in this video. I'm going to follow one of the wheat fields, as I said, every 4 to 6 weeks, so you can see the progress. I can't do many financials on the wheat right now because it was only drilled back in October. I'll take you out there in a minute and we'll talk about that. But as we go out the season, and then at the end of the season, I will do a big financial kind of mock-up so you can see exactly what everything costs and how much we got out of it. So, which is probably not very much, but I will definitely show you that. So the field we're in now is in an SFI scheme.
What does SFI mean?
SFI stands for Sustainable Farming Incentive. It's basically a government scheme where there's lots of different options. It could be anything like cropping or hedges, and there's a multitude of different things. But this particular field is in a multi-species cover crop for the winter. So generally what we usually do is that this was wheat this year, just been, so 2025 wheat harvest, milling wheat harvest, it's come off of this field and then we would leave it. What we've done is we've entered an SFI agreement where we plant a multi-species of seeds throughout the field for the winter. So lots of different things in this mix: brassicas, legumes, all that kind of stuff, buckwheats, phacelia, all kinds of different bits. And what that does over the winter, there's many different reasons for doing it. We have 32 hectares of this particular SFI in this year. And the nice thing about it, so it's 32 hectares agreement, so every year I have to grow 32 hectares of this, but I can move it from field to field, so it doesn't have to stay in this one field, which is great. And I'll take you to another field shortly and I'll show you what I mean, but generally this would just be a bare field of stubble which has been sprayed off, and there'll be nothing here. So when you get a lot of rain like we've been getting, it'll either just run off straight into the ditch, which isn't ideal, and this greening helps stop that, because you got roots in the ground which are improving the soil structure and holding the soil together. If there's any residual nitrogen left in the soil from the last crop, this cover crop will use that residual nitrogen, which will stop it leaching into ditches and stuff throughout the winter. But then when you spray it off, it will release that nitrogen back into the ground. Especially, there's a lot of legumes out here which have little nodes on, which put nitrogen into the ground. So spray this off, the nitrogen will be released back into the ground, and then sort of 2 or 3 weeks, the other farmer will come in, turn it over and put it straight back in the maize. Basically, what we're asking is this particular SFI agreement worth doing? So the figures: £129 a hectare, we get paid to do it, £52 an acre. 32 hectares, we get paid £4,128, which sits here like, oh, that's amazing, it's great, but it's not all pure profit, because you've got to buy the seed, you've got to drill it, and the seed is very, very expensive. We shopped around a lot this year for seeds, for the mix, because you can do your own mixes and that, and this was put together alongside our agronomist, who is very, very good. I do like you, Mr. Trenery, if you're watching. So the thing is with the SFI is there's a very fine line in getting the crop in decent, but not spending too much money on doing it. So I don't really want to come out here, cultivate the field, power harrow it, drill it, roll it, because it all adds up, and then that window of making money gets a lot smaller. So what we did this year for the first time actually was we just drilled it straight with a combi drill. I think it was about September time we drilled it, somewhere around there. I know it was quite dry, but we went in September. 3 metre combi drill, and I just scratched the top with a power harrow and put the seed down behind it. And this is how it's kept. It's come really, really well. So I haven't cultivated for any of this, which is quite a big cost, which we've saved. 32 hectares, about 1.8 hectares an hour roughly. So it's about £213 for the tractor depreciation. That's just the tractor running, and then a further £249 in fuel, which is about 12 litres a hectare, because we're going quite fast. It's not really working on the tractor very hard, and it's running in 1,000 economy as well, because I have a tractor which has 1,000 economy now, which is very, very handy. So that adds up to £462. Now the seed, this is the painful bit. So 32 hectares of seed was £2,249, which is very expensive. So that's total outgoings was £2,711. Obviously we don't take our time into it, otherwise none of us would make any money. But that leaves us with £1,417 left after the seed has been bought, drilling's done, put to bed, £1,417 in your back pocket, which is very, very good. It is worth it financially, obviously, because £1,400 is okay. That's not too bad. But in terms of looking after the ground, it's absolutely ideal, and it's something that me and Dad and our agronomists are quite sort of precious about, really. We have to look after the ground because it's always getting used. Every year it's taken out. We're trying to put back in. So I think this is a great idea. Even if SFI payments were to stop, I would genuinely consider doing this without the payment, just because of how it's helping our soil on the farm. A lot of these plants give out a chemical called a allelopathic chemical, and it does get quite complex, and my agronomist would be the one to talk to about it, because he is a genius. But that can actually help slow the growth of wheat, which is great for over winter, not so great for your next crop, because it can also slow the crop that you're trying to put in. So I spray it off 2 or 3 weeks before the next crop goes in, just to give that chemical time to sort of work its way through. Jesus. Were you filming that? Very wet. I'm going to stand in the tram line.
Yeah, it looks like deers.
Bloody big deers. It's like bloody elephants have been out here. Anyway, welcome to my wheat field. It's so wet, I can't believe how wet that is. The tram lines are nice and firm because I've already travelled this and I pushed the tram lines down. So standing here, absolutely fine. And then you come over here. So this field is 10.81 hectares of Crusoe, which is a variety of wheat, milling wheat, Group 1. We grow milling wheat, we try and grow milling wheat here every year. The protein in our milling wheat was phenomenal this year. They look for around 13%. I was taking stuff in the grain store at 14%, which actually is too much because you don't get paid any more for over 13. But if you go under 13% protein, so 12.9, 12.8, you get a £1 deduction per point, so per 0 point. See what I mean?
0.1.
0.1.
So if it was 12.9, you'd get
lose a pound a tonne. So if I go in at 12.5, I lose £5 a tonne premium off of that 13. Consult my magical book of many, many things. It is in there somewhere. Wheat was drilled. This field was drilled on the 30th September, which is quite early for us. We like to be sort of 10th of October, but we were all a bit nervous after last year. Last year came in, so that would have been drilling 2024. It came in very, very wet, and we were okay. We got all our wheat in, but it does make you a little bit nervous. So we went a little bit earlier this year.
As well as personal reasons.
As well as personal reasons, yes. My wife had a baby, so I was quite keen to get the wheat in, but it all worked out quite well.
Yeah, I drilled this field. As in, I came out while your dad was drilling it.
Yes, that's very different coming out to see us than actually drilling the field. Did you drill the field?
Yes, in my mind I did. I watched the field being.
So what I'd like to do with this field is show it to you throughout the season up until harvest, and we'll harvest it off and then I'll go through all the finances at the end of the harvest for this field. It's quite early days for this field. It's all up, there's no patches, there's no wall to sit in, so overall very happy. We have another 2 fields the top side of us, which we might throw the drone up and have a little look. I bought my fertilizer, £360 a tonne. So for milling wheat, generally, and this all depends on your ground, whether you're on clay, sand, if your sand's hungry ground, if you've got dung, slurry, all of these things will impact how much fertilizer you put on here. Not here, but just generally on your crops. We don't have a huge amount of dung, so this particular field it's like a grade 2 kind of sandy loam. It's a big field. It's big for us, not big for a lot of farms, but nearly 11 hectares. It's 10.81. And I put for milling wheat, I split it into 5 applications of fertilizer. Years and years ago, they used to do say 2 or 3, but you're chucking a lot more on in one go. And if you have a lot of rain, it just washes off and the plant won't use all of it. So I do 5 passes, and the total of nitrogen per hectare I put on products is around 850 kilos a hectare. If I was doing feed wheat, maybe something like 600 kilos a hectare. And there is quite a cost to that, the difference in the two. For milling wheat, this particular field at 10.9 hectares needs 8.9 tonnes if I do it at 825 tonnes a hectare, which is 3,204 pounds. If I was doing feed wheat, I'd put on 600 kilos a hectare, which is 6.4 tonnes, which is 2,304 pounds. So £900 difference in this one field for treating between feed wheat and milling wheat. We take all our grain to a grain merchant who's just down the road. In fact, you might be able to see them in the drone, but they're just over there. They're not very far away. And so we take it into the store, so combine, into the trailer, into the store, and then we put it on what's called long pull. So they sell it for us throughout the year. What that means is you kind of ride the wave. You get slightly lower prices, but then you get the higher prices, you get the middle prices, everything in between. And that works quite well for us. You can sell spot where you choose to sell it. You could sell it at say £230 a tonne and it goes down to 180 and doesn't come back up, you've gained. Or you could sell it at that price and it goes up to £300 a tonne. I mean, that would be the day. And then you've lost. So we put on a long pull throughout the year. The only downside is you get paid once a year. This is our one of our milling wheat fields for 2025. I hope you guys will keep asking questions. There might be some stuff that I've missed that you want to know. Dare I say it, there might be some stuff that I got wrong. Because it's known to happen quite regularly, isn't it?
Yes, Dad.
But yeah, more than happy to answer questions. So we're going to follow this field and that field, which is maize. So following the wheat, following the maize. Stick the drone up. Evie's going to have a little go with it because I've realised that I can't spray and fert spin and drive a drone
at the same time.
At the same time. I mean, obviously I can't spray and fert spin at the same time. That'd be ridiculous. But I can't do jobs like that and fly a drone. So we're going to see if Evie can put her hand to it. I'm sure you can.
I'm not convinced because we don't normally make it out of the drive before you make a comment about my driving. So I feel like my drone driving isn't gonna.
These guys haven't seen you driving.
That's not very nice.
In this field, I'm going to show you with a drone. We have a little owl box we put up, don't we?
Yes, we made owl boxes inspired by Mr. Clarkson.
Well, inspired by Clarkson's farm, yeah.
And we made 5 owl boxes a while ago.
So we made the owl boxes and we dotted them around the farm. And as soon as we put them up, all the owls disappeared. Literally left Somerset. I put 5 owl boxes up. I thought it was a great idea. And then all of the owls just left. Never to be seen again. Welcome back to Between the Furrows, where this week I'm going to turn this into a theme park. You don't want to walk on this too much because your boots will just get clogged. So I said this is a field without any. It looks very dark there. Does it look alright? This is a field without any overwinter greening. So this was wheat. In the drone shot, you'll see some of the wheat failed last year. sort of this time last year actually it flooded out there. You'll see there's a bit of water over there. So the line you can see in the drone footage, that was I took that and put that in the spring barley. The same with all this headland and that part just over there, spring barley as well, because it flooded, because it's a wet field. But this is how they generally look with no, this is how we like to have them looking if there's no cover crop in it. So this has been sumoed. It must be a month ago now I sprayed off. So this is now ready for next spring, and I'll come in and hopefully I'll be ready just to go in with a combi drill, put the beans in. Depends how much rain we get. But this is going to spring beans this year. We haven't grown spring beans for 3 years. Also in the drone footage I'll show you, in the first video on our channel I showed you drilling some wheat. It's not very nice to say it, but it's pretty much at the stage where we're going to write it off. It's not looking great. It's just got very wet. There's water sat out there. A lot of the seed is rotted in the ground, and it's just heavy ground down here. So we're going to see how it goes. We'll take a view on it in the spring, whether we rip it up and put it into something else, or whether we nurse that wheat through, depending on how it looks. But at the moment, it's not looking very good. It's only 8 acres. It is what it is. The other wheat's looking great, so we're not going to complain about it, are we, dear?
No, dear.
So yes, this field is called Duckets, and it's about 50 acres. So yeah, and a mould drain. This field is a very wet field. You'll notice that there's stewardship margins around it, or they are stewardship margins, and a big grass patch, I say grass, just down there. That's actually an AB8 flour mix, which I'll go into in another video. I'm not going to go into it in this video. It's another SFI scheme that we're in. We've got probably about 50 acres in that scheme of AB8 flour mix. Pays a lot higher, but I just said I wasn't going to go into it because this video is going to be like 400 years long, but I will go into that in another video. But that's what that wettest part of the field in the stewardship. As you can see, we probably should have come up a little bit higher with it, because this is flooding here. Should have come up to this bank. But we've got a mould drain now, and we try and do it sort of every 3 years. They say 3 to 5 years. And it's completely changed this field. I know there's a bit of water on it now. We've had a lot of rain, but there would be a lot more rain on it, or water on it, if we didn't have the mould drainer. It's a fantastic bit of kit, and I cannot wait to get some footage of it, but it won't be until next year, unless I come out and get stuck, which I don't really fancy. We hope you've enjoyed this video, don't we, dear?
We really do.
And I really appreciate Evie coming out to film me.
Yep.
Quality time together.
Is it you talking to a camera?
This is like a holiday. We don't need to go to Centre Parks now.
Because you've sat and spoken to your viewers for an hour.
Yeah, you guys have saved us at least £1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we both hope you've enjoyed this video. If anybody's got any questions, please ask. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about what we spoke about in the video. I may have missed some bits out, but it's the first time talking on video about it, which is quite difficult.
There's a lot to be said, isn't there?
Yeah, like if I was talking to Evie about this, it's nice and fluent and boring for her, because she hears about it all the live long day. Good times. Good times!
Is that your new sign off?